All right, I just did my blood draw. They took 5 vials of blood. It's really funny because I didn't really know what to expect with this. I've donated blood many, many times, but when I got the original FedEx package in the mail, I finally got a chance to take a look at it and realized that you can only do the blood withdrawals between Monday and Wednesday, usually in the morning, just because of the time sensitivity of this whole process of making sure they can test it while the samples are viable. So they're taking my 5 vials of blood. I'm running to FedEx right now to ensure that it's kept at room temperature, and it will be picked up same day because my doctor couldn't promise that FedEx would be coming today. So I'm like, dude, I'm gonna run this sucker over and get it done. And I'm really nervous. I'm really excited, mainly nervous, also excited. And you know, today's November 6th. It's also election day. And I'm hoping that today will be a great day for everyone. Yeah, it feels really real now. So here we are. I'm hoping for the best. I'm trying not to get my hopes up for a variety of things on November 6th, but here we are, officially starting the living kidney donation journey. It feels so real now.
3 weeks later.
Hey, Merry Christmas. It's December and I have great news that I sent in my blood samples to the Mayo Clinic, which apparently I still can't say, tomato, and I'm a match. Oh my God, which means we're going forward with scheduling. And the next portion after you send in your blood samples, the next portion of this process is essentially you get to wear a heart rate monitor for 24 freaking hours. So that's what I got here. This little sucker just arrived in the mail. So exciting. And I got everything here and I have to wear this. The Mayo Clinic sent it out and I have to wear it for a full day, this cuff, and it just keeps an eye on me to make sure that I'm healthy and that, you know, when I'm waking and throughout the day that I'm like ready to go and that I'm fine. But funny story, they've been calling me and they're like, when are you gonna wear this heart rate monitor? Like, you need to wear it for 24 hours so we can make sure that you're healthy. And I was like, well, it's Christmas and I work in retail marketing and I'm really stressed out. So I've kind of felt like the whole last week, probably shouldn't wear this because you guys will probably think I'm on the brink of death, and I'm just like a little bit stressed out. Like, this is not my normal, you know, cadence. I meditate and do all that fun stuff and try to get enough rest, but it's just been a little crazy at Christmas. But anyway, so I have to wear this sucker for 24 hours and then I'll work with my my donation team to schedule everything for January. And I'll be flying out to Florida to get a whole slew of tests from EKG, do I think a CAT scan, you know, a psychiatric evaluation, all that fun stuff. And so that will be a 4 to 5 day process that I have to go through sometime in January. So I'm working with that team to schedule it, but things are rolling forward. It's really exciting. This year's gone so fast, and before I know it, I'll be in Florida getting tested. So here we go.
The next day.
Good morning. It's officially blood pressure monitoring day. I've got my super sexy robe on and my super sexy blood pressure cuff down below. And I was going to vlog this morning of like getting the sucker on. And you know what, I'm gonna spare you that because it was really frustrating and awkward because I pretty much live by myself now, and it's just like getting a bracelet on by yourself when you have a blood pressure cuff. You're just like, oh, I can't get it tight enough, and it's like, it was really weird. So anyway, just had to work through that process of getting it on. It ended up being totally fine, but like, you know, just decided that I'm gonna get through this process today as easy as possible, easy breezy lemon squeezy, because you do have this giant cuff on underneath here. It's not giant, Shannon, stop being so dramatic. But you have this tube that goes down, and then you have this battery pack that you kind of need to keep with you. And every 20 minutes while you're awake, it'll go off. You'll hear a couple beeps as a warning, and then you're supposed to sit down and stop talking, which is apparently really hard for me, and let it take your reading. So it goes off every 20 minutes while you're awake, and then usually every, I think, hour when you're asleep. So I decided I was just going to play it simple today, keep it simple today, and snuggle up with my pug. So I got my baby here. Hi, hello. She's like, stop doing this. Mwah. Anyway, got my pug here. Boston's are sleeping. I'm gonna get some work done. So I will be going in January 14th. I fly to Jacksonville and I have 4 days of tests of everything from EKGs to, you know, meeting with a cardiologist, like meeting with everybody just to make sure that I'm healthy, I'm well, I know what to expect and all that fun stuff. So that'll be happening in January. It's currently mid-December, so I'm really excited that like I just booked my ticket and I have all my appointments lined up, and I'm just like, oh my God, it's really happening now. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I'm gonna take today pretty easy and just let, you know, the blood pressure monitoring happen and, you know, maybe do some laundry, stuff like that, but just like keep it simple because yeah, you're supposed to sit down and shut up every time this reading happens. Oh, okay, it's going off right now, hold on. Okay, there we go. And now we're done. And so that literally happens every 20 minutes. So here we are, and I just wanted to share a little bit of my progress with you today with my awesome Robon. So bye guys. All right guys, so I've made it to the Dallas airport after a very long and stressful day in San Antonio. I'm very happy to say I made it here. And I know it's really noisy here. I hope the audio is okay, but I wanted to share something really weird that happened to me on the flight over from San Antonio. Nothing like this has ever happened to me. A couple people I know in my personal life have found out about my journey to donate a kidney, and I haven't received the warmest reactions about it. I think people are usually pretty darn confused as to why I'm donating a kidney to a complete stranger. And sometimes I take that, you know, in stride, and other times I really struggle with it. But I grabbed this Oprah magazine because I'm a subscriber. I grabbed it because it was at my door on the way out, and I was like, oh, I'm decluttering. I should probably grab this, you know, read through some of my magazines. This is literally the only one I grabbed before I headed out the door at the last minute to the airport today. I'm pawing through. This is from November 2018. You know, they have all their stuff. It's great. And then I turned to this and it hit me like a bolt of lightning. Check it out. Can you spare a kidney? Like, sincerely, this like hit me so hard that I almost started crying on the airplane, and there was a really hot guy next to me, and I was like, girl, hold it together, do not cry. Because I have to say, over the last couple of weeks, the journey to donate has been a little bit of a lonely one. People are super supportive and they're super kind, but sometimes I feel pretty alone in my journey, and people don't always understand what it's like or what I'm going through. They're always super supportive, but like the reactions I've gotten from the few people I've told about this have been really challenging. So long story short, I'm in Dallas right now for a 1 hour layover before I head to Jacksonville, and I see this on my flight from San Antonio, and I have to say, Oprah Magazine, kudos to you. Whoever wrote this piece, Rachel Mob, whoever you are a darling. This piece, it outlines so many of the feelings I have, so many of the struggles I've gone through, and so many of the worries that I've had, which I know I will go over through my donor team. My donor team will explain that to me when I get to Jacksonville tonight and over the next 4 days as I go through testing. But like seeing this was like peace and inspiration, and I just have to say, like, I cannot believe that this was in some random magazine I picked up by my door. So here we are. Anyway, I'm in Dallas for an hour and then I fly out. I'm going to hang out next to the Benefit Cosmetics truck because it's the quickest, happiest place in the Dallas airport. And yeah, I don't know. Do you believe in synchronicity? Do you believe that this happens? Because this literally was from November 2018, and it's now January of 2019, and I didn't read this magazine, and now here we are. I like seriously almost cried on the airplane. It was like such a relief, and it was so nice to know that like somebody else had been through this as well. They were talking about other living kidney donors who had never met the recipient in person. So here we are. All right, guys, off to Jacksonville I go.
Those customers that are going.
All right, so I have made it to Jacksonville. It is late. I look amazing. I made it in one piece, made my connecting flight, got my rental car, made it to my Airbnb, even made it to Publix before it closed to get some snacks, some gluten-free snacks. And now I'm here at my Airbnb. Life is better at the beach. It's true. And I'm here, and I have to say, like, it really feels real now for me. But when I saw the Oprah magazine article that I stumbled across, like, I still can't believe that that happened. The living kidney donors talk about what it's like to donate to a stranger and how sometimes people don't understand and how the recovery period can be hard and you don't really know what you're getting into. And I would have to say that the portion of people not really understanding hit home, and the complexity and the wave of emotions you feel and how raw you feel and how nervous and scared you are is so true. And so it's one of these heavy things that puts your heart in a vice grip of just like, I have to do this, and like I feel compelled to do this, and I don't want to let someone down, because if it were me or someone I love dearly, I would want somebody to do what I'm doing, and that's why I'm here. I have a full day tomorrow, which I'm nervous excited about, but I got my folder here. I've totally got this, because I totally do. Actually, I don't feel like I do, but the folder convinces me otherwise. And I have all of my appointments on the schedule for tomorrow, which is really exciting. And it's a full freaking day for me. Like, holy cow. I show up tomorrow at 8:45 in the morning for my first consults. Then at 11 a.m. I have a second consult. Then at 12:10 p.m. I have I have my chest imaging exam. Then I have at 12:25 an electrocardiogram test. 12:45 I have another consultation. At 2 p.m. I have a consultation. 3:30 I have a consultation. And 4:20 I have a blood test. That is just day one. It doesn't really say on a lot of these like what the consults are for. I think it might be in the clinic app that they had me download, but basically they tell you what time and where to show up, and you get consulted and you get questions and poked and prodded and all that fun stuff. I know that there are emotional evaluations and physical evaluations and all the stuff to make sure that you're prepared as you can be and ready and capable of donating. So I know that that's just day one of this crazy thing I'm doing, but I have more this week. I'll explore Jacksonville a little bit, get some work done in between tests, but yeah, dude, it's really happening. It finally is super, super real. So I'm gonna get some sleep because I have a long day of tests and consults tomorrow. Day two is two. Day two is almost in the can, and I am grateful for it because dang, I've been keeping super busy with different appointments. It's currently Tuesday. I've been here for a full day on Monday, almost a full day on Tuesday at the Mayo Clinic, which finally solved that riddle. It is mayo as in put mayo on your salami sandwich, not mayo as in Cinco de Mayo. Don't know why I struggled with that one so much, but it is what it is. Anyway, so almost done with day two today. Very excited about that. I have been through the ringer in the best way possible of a whole bunch of process consultations, physical examinations, like blood draws, CT, chest x-ray. I've also had like a primary care physician visit with me. I've also had a psychological evaluation. I met with a social worker to also make sure that I'm prepared emotionally, financially, you know, and every other way than medical, that I'm ready for this and that I have support systems in place. Like I've been, you know, walked through every possible scenario and tried the team does an amazing job of making sure that I feel prepared and that I know that at any point in this process, even up until surgery day, if I decide that I don't want to go through with this, I do not have to. And that is wonderful. I really am committed to doing this. But if you're ever wondering what it's like to be a kidney donor, that's a little bit about that. But yeah, I've had a lot of evaluations. I'm a little bit sluggish right now, to be honest, because I was supposed to have a blood draw this morning at 6:30. I arrived a little bit late, which bumped me up too close to my appointment for my CT scan. And they put contrast in you. It makes you really hot. It's really insane. Anyway, and that meant that after my psychological evaluation that ended at like 10:30, then I had to go to the lab and get all of my fasting blood draws done. So I couldn't eat from like 6:30 yesterday to about 11:30 today, so I'm dragging a little bit. It normally will not go that way if you're ever going through this process. You should be able to only fast for like 12 hours, like overnight. But because your girl got lost and did not cushion enough time in for this process, I screwed myself over a little bit and I've regretted it later. But anyway, I got my blood draw done. Everything's done. I had my chest x-ray, my CT scan of my chest and my abdomen. Yesterday during my chest x-ray, they actually found a nodule in my chest, which I'm waiting for updates on that. They're gonna let me know what they find after the CT scan, which I don't know what will come of that. So it's usually nodules are not a big deal. They're gonna obviously find out if it is or it isn't, but it's like, oh, okay. And like for the first time, like I know this could happen at any time in this process, that I could find out that I'm not a fit candidate to do this. And I think that's for me the hardest part. You know, your caseworker and everyone you talk to asks you if you know about the risks and the benefits and what it will take, and you're prepared, but like, yeah, I will be like hugely disappointed in this part of the game if I end up not being physically viable to do this. Like obviously I'll get over it, but it was like, dude, this is a lot. Like I'm going through so much. And even with that, even if I get a little frustrated or I get nervous about needles, I just remember one thing, that at the end of this journey, there is somebody waiting for my kidney, and that I just really like getting like misty-eyed and spiritual thought, like I really hope this works out, because yeah, I flew here, yeah, I've had a bunch of tests, yes, I've missed a week of work, but at the end of the day, like as soon as I recover from surgery, I'm back to normal for the most part. You know, my remaining kidney starts growing, I start feeling better, you know, like I'm okay. But like for the person who's waiting on a kidney, I have a whole newfound appreciation for what this must be like, of like going to the hospital this many times, having this many tests, hooking up to dialysis several times a week, if not every day. Yeah, dude, like any inconvenience or fear or, oh shoot, I didn't eat today kind of blahs I have, like, dude, it doesn't even matter. But day 2, the next thing, to wrap up this day, I have one more consultation at the end of the day. I think that might be with my donor advocate. I can't remember what the appointment is. They gave me this really cool folder. I don't remember what's in, you know, like what's coming up next, but I have it all here, so I will go back in a couple hours. But until then, your girl gets to pee in a jug. Isn't that great? Yeah, I get to pee in a jug. Really excited about that. So for 24 hours, I pee in a little cup and then I pour the little cup in here. And basically, from what I understand, it just helps make sure that my kidneys are functioning and processing things. So that is just one of the many tests they have you do while you're at the Mayo, darn it, I did it again, the Mayo Clinic. It's not Cinco de Mayo. Anyway, I'm gonna get to do this. I was gonna record this before I went to the bathroom, but yeah, so it's really fascinating. If you ever come to the Mayo Clinic and do this, it is a whole bunch of tests back to back to back. You do blood draws, you do chest x-rays, you do CT scans, I forget what else you do. You do a physical exam, you do a whole bunch of stuff, but they keep it really well. It's a well-oiled machine, to say the very least. So anyway, I'm almost done. I'm like almost halfway through this whole process, really excited. And now, if you'll excuse me, girl's gotta go pee in a jug. God, I'm dignified. Anyway, bye guys. All right, so I've just wrapped day 3 of my examinations and consultations at the Mayo Clinic. I turned in my jug. I'm very happy to be done with that. And as stated, I got to meet my recipient today over lunch. And I have to say, obviously this was the highlight of my trip and the highlight of this experience. That, I have to say, when you get to meet somebody and you hope and pray that you will positively impact their lives, I'm very lucky that my recipient is a stand-up dude, and that I'm really grateful and excited and ready to see like what his return to health will look like for him and his family. Very excited about that. And I just was hearing about what it's like to live on dialysis, just rerouted me in how important this process is. And hearing that he has to hook up to dialysis several times a week, how it impacts his travel plans, you know, to visit his kids and grandkids, to visit, you know, for weddings or funerals or vacations, like what it's like to live on dialysis and how that changes your life. What happens if the power goes out? What happens if, you know, you need help with your dialysis machine and not everyone knows how to hook you up? Like all of these like little details that I know that in my ability I take for granted, where I can just pick up and go. If I want to go on vacation or if I want to go to visit a friend, I don't have to worry about hooking up to a machine just to function and just to clear my blood. Like,
holy cow, people who are on dialysis are champions. They are so brave. And you know, my recipient had such a positive outlook and was so kind and gracious, but you can tell, like, if you put yourself in those shoes, how difficult it must be and how they have to, I wouldn't say put on a happy face, that's not it, but like how they can still smile in adversity and how they can still maintain a positive outlook on life when it is hard, when your doctor tells you what your timeline is and what life could look like if you don't get a transplant. And they show up and smile despite all of this. And I'm humbled and grateful. Just through this whole process of all the tests I've taken, all the feedback I've gotten from my various medical team members at the Mayo Clinic, I just come back to one thing, and that's how grateful I am. How grateful I am that I'm healthy enough to do this. How grateful I am that I have the privilege and having a good job that pays me far above a living wage, that gives me paid time off, that I can come and do this, that, you know, I have vacation time I can use, that there's the Family Medical Leave Act that I can utilize, or disability or things like that. I have resources at my disposal to be able to do this thing. That I have the support network that I do, that I have savings in the bank, that I have friends and family who care about me and love me and are concerned for me. And, you know, admittedly in the beginning, it hurt my feelings quite a bit when people looked at me funny when in the select few people I did tell I was doing this. But I realized that there are a lot of people who don't understand kidney donation, what it entails, or the risks involved. But now that I'm more educated about it myself and I've met with my team, I feel like I can go back to some of those people who voiced concern or were unsure about this process. And I feel very grateful that I can hopefully explain to them a bit better about why I'm doing this, what the risks are, and what I have ahead of me if I am green lighted to go in for the surgery. I feel like the luckiest woman alive because I get to do this. Like, that's really what this boils down to. I don't have to do this. I get to do this. I'm healthy enough, wealthy enough, supported enough, loved enough, cared for enough. Like, the Mayo Clinic team was amazing. And like, I live in an age where, you know, we do have right now, I can't be disqualified for life insurance or medical insurance in the future because of this. Losing a kidney will be considered a pre-existing condition. That could change at any time, but I'm grateful for it now. I'm grateful for the fact that I was given world-class medical care at the Mayo Clinic. I was treated so well. And this whole experience has been really positive. Of course, I'm nervous as all hell that I may get disqualified for some reason or another, but you know, the Mayo Clinic takes every person very seriously and they vet you very closely. So I know that if I'm cleared for surgery, I was in good hands and I will be in good hands, and that I know that my recipient will be well taken care of, and I have nothing but good things to say about this process so far as it comes to a close. I am so humbled and grateful that I got to meet my recipient in person. He is a stand-up dude. I really hope this works out for him and for his family. And this is something I really feel called to do. And I just hope I can positively impact his life, because hearing what he's living through on dialysis, as positive and upbeat as he was, I will be so happy for him to feel better and to have a life to enjoy with his family. And so any pain that I go through, now that I know the risks and I've talked through it with my healthcare providers, like, you know what, it pales in comparison to the bravery of a kidney patient. So I'm ready for this. I'm nervous still that I will, you know, just waiting to hear back from my doctors and the committee. But that being said, I really feel like the luckiest woman alive today. I got to meet my recipient, and I'm so grateful for all of this. So that being said, fingers crossed for good news coming my way, and here we go.
One eternity later.
It is March 6th, and it's a Wednesday, and today is the day. Dude, you're gonna see me making this face a lot during this clip. Today's the day I found out that I'm gonna be a living kidney donor, and pretty excited. Like, I'm mushy. Like, I am completely mush right now. I'm so excited and ready. We hit so many snags getting to this point. Like I said, it's currently March 6th. And I went in for my tests in January, like mid-January, and we had to redo a couple urine analysis tests because we had some issues getting the files over. I'd have my women's wellness exam and get that scheduled, so there were a lot of blips along the way. The committee only meets on Tuesdays at this particular hospital, so if I didn't get the test results over in time, it meant that it got pushed out a week. And so felt like forever to get my go ahead, but we finally got it today, and I sent my recipient the screen grab of the congratulatory letter I got in my Mayo Clinic patient portal, and I guess he had to pull over the car and got emotional, which made me emotional. And I can't believe it's here. We're figuring out next steps right now in terms of scheduling the date for the kidney donation. I honestly don't know when it's going to happen at this point. I was just really protecting my heart of just I don't want to get my hopes up or get anyone's hopes up. We will cross that bridge when we get there, but I'm really excited to finally share that after all of the setbacks, all of the committee days and waiting for the approval, it finally came. And now I have to work out the rest of my life to get this kidney donation to the finish line, but I know we can do it, and I just feel so lucky. I feel like the world's luckiest woman that I get to do this, and that my medical team thinks that I'm healthy enough and that I'm ready and I'm capable of doing this, and I get to do this. And so am I scared? Yeah, a little bit, but mainly I'm just really excited. I'm just really ready that this is going to happen, and that my recipient is hopefully going to have a better quality of life and a better roadway, because dialysis freaking sucks. And we're going to get to do this together. So I'm really excited. I'm letting it sink in. I have a lot to do at work today, so I'm just going to get through this Wednesday, but just wanted to record this moment because I finally got the thumbs up, and now it's the rest is ready to begin. So here we are. Holy cow.